Hey, y'all, welcome back to the channel and to the pod. This is What Work Won't Settle. I'm your host, April Terrell, and you are rocking with me, and I really appreciate that. And before we move on, please like and subscribe if you find any of this helpful, and share if you think there is someone who may benefit from listening to this message. Now, let's get into today's word, which is goals. I thought about this episode and I thought about the content that I wanted to put into this episode, and really it's kind of trifling. It's kind of trifling, but I thought I would share because I'm in the camp of I'm not the only one. So, and if anybody want to sit up here and act like not them, okay. I mean, but me and like some of us. So, I don't like the word goals. I don't like the word goals. When I hear it, I want to vomit. I don't like when someone says, "Hey, yeah, you need to set goals. You need to have goals." And it's not because I don't believe that you should not have goals and that you don't need goals. I personally just realized that I have some type of aversion to it. And I didn't take that at face value because I know from experience that when something is good for you and something is good for others and it's working for others and it's something that's principle based, like goals and goal setting, that if you have an aversion to it, it's worth exploring. So, I listen to a lot of personal development content. I'm always, all the basic principles and basic concepts. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Then when someone mentions, goal setting and types of goals and SMART goals, I'm just like, girl. So again, I got curious. I got curious about why am I feeling like this? Why am I trying to build a business and not setting goals? Not setting any type of business goals. And for the record, I am in the beginning stages of building a business, but I've kind of been in the beginning stages for a while. And it's not that I have never set business goals. I have. And I think that is my first issue, my personal challenge or struggle with goal setting, is that I know I should do it. I know that it is going to be amazing if and when I do it. I don't follow through, right? I don't do the thing that I said I'm going to do, which, number one, erodes trust in myself, erodes trust in anything that I say to myself. I'm like, well, so nowadays when I go to goal set, there's this voice in the back of my head saying, yeah, but are you really going to do that? Come on, we know what this is, right? You're just writing stuff because it sounds good, it sounds cute, and you're not really going to do anything. So that's the first thing. And this is true. The voice, it's telling the truth. It's not a lie. Let me just go. Okay, I think I can bring it back. I'm going to bring it back here. So let's put a little pin right here. And I'm going to go back to a time where I did set a goal. In my early 30s, I had 3 children and I was about to give birth to my 4th. I had always had a goal of going to college, and by this time I had went to college, I was 19 or 20, and then I had to drop out for financial issues. So now I'm in my early 30s. I still have not gotten that one degree, and I'm working a trashy job. And I'm like, okay, I'm finally going back to school. I have all these kids, but now we have online class, and I'm like, you know what? I can do this. I can do this. If I can do this online at home, I can do it. I can do it. And so I did. I signed up and I said, I am going to, the goals were to get a associate's degree. See, I'm kind of strategic. I got this way about me. I said, I'm going to get the associate's degree, and then I'm going to use some of the credits from the associate to roll into the bachelor's degree so that I don't have to take an entire bachelor's degree program, right? And I can get my bachelor's degree quicker that way. So that's what I did. I started and I finished my associates, and I rolled some of those credits into the bachelor's, and that brought my bachelor's down to a 3-year track instead of 4. And then I got the bachelor's degree, and then my next goal was to get a 6-figure job. Now, I knew this from the time I started. I knew this from the time that I actually started this, this mission. I said, I'm going to get the associates, the bachelor's, 6-figure job, period, point blank. This is what we're doing. So I have set goals and I have achieved them. As soon as I finished my bachelor's, I started interviewing for 6-figure roles. I had never had a 6-figure job. I did not know what to do. I had my wonderful, wonderful best friend. She had done it. So she gave me some training. She gave me some, pointers, and she's like, do this, do that. And I went from making, I think at the time I was making $22 an hour, which is like 44,000 or so, to making $105,000. And I was making $55 an hour from $22 an hour. You see that jump? And that was all planned. It was all goals, and I did it. So I know the power of goal setting. But I was talking to my daughter earlier. She's in college right now, and we talk about, these things, like especially personal development topics and, fears and how we're handling it. And I was telling her that I think that when I decided that I was going to go back to school and get the associate's degree and the bachelor's degree and get the 6-figure job, the only thing about that goal was a 6-figure job. I believed that I could do it, but I was okay with, say, making 80 as opposed to 100. I knew that at 40 grand a year, if I could get 75, 80, that would change a lot of my life. So I was like, getting 100, that kind of was like the moon. It's like shoot for the moon, and at least you'll land amongst the stars kind of thing. So with that, I was okay with, hey, it might be about 75 grand, might be 80 grand, right? Like even if I get a job that's 65,000, that's still 20,000 more than what I'm making right now. So I think that my mindset around that was, I'm still going to be making more than I'm making now. Whether it's 65, 75, 85, or 100, it doesn't matter. It's still going to be more than what I got going on right now. So I think I was very flexible around that particular goal. So that's what got me to the goal. And when I looked at that goal and I looked at and I said, well, what makes it different from building a business, right? From offering services and helping people, because this is something I really want to do. That was something that I really wanted to do. I'm like, there's no difference in the reason why I'm trying to do it. And it's also, I believe this is something that would change my life. And that's why I did that. I decided to go back to school. I just wanted a change. I was like, I want to change my life. I want things to change. So let me be the change kind of thing. So that's what I'm on now. And I'm like, I want to be that change. And I want to inspire people around me, and I want to impact the world, and I want to be able to help people to get to their goals and do their thing. But I'm like, why is that not pushing me? Right? Why is that not motivating me? Why did I do that thing and this thing I'm setting no goals around? So what happened was, when I was talking to my daughter about it, I realized that with the schooling, I had always been a kind of a straight A student. Wasn't straight A's, but I was that kid. I loved school. I loved learning. I got A's, B's, C's, and I was there. I was here. Drop me off at any school in America, and I was gonna be schooling. I loved to learn. I loved it, and I never had any. Not that I didn't have challenges in school, I just didn't care about the challenges. Like, I was there for those challenges, right? So when it came to me making the educational goals and getting the associates, getting the bachelor's, I did not blink an eye at that. I was like, of course I can do that. Like, what are we talking about right now? Like, yes. Like, I had no fears around academics, no fears around you can give me any class. Again, even if it challenged me, even if I struggled, even if I got a D, I didn't care, right? Like, I just liked being in school. I just loved learning. So that was just never a challenge for me. So I think when I decided to make that goal again, I didn't care, right? I was like, cool, I could do this. So again, with the 6-figure job, I gave myself a lot of flexibility around it, because there were a few outcomes that I was okay with. And that's what I feel like, for me, why I actually accomplished those goals. With the schooling, I was very comfortable with it. I was very just, relaxed around it. And I think the only challenge that I was concerned about is I did have children. I have 4 children, and they were all like under 10. So you're talking about like kids, and and I didn't have a full-time job when I started. But I think about a year into it, I started working full-time. So I was working, I was doing my schoolwork on my lunch. So I figured it out. And those are the challenges that I had, but I figured I would work my way around that. I didn't mind doing late nights. I used to put my son by my foot and put him in his bouncer, and I would just bounce the bouncer with my foot, and I would type my essays, right? Like, while I was cooking. So it's like I was, whatever, we about to do it. And that is the kind of person that I am. And especially around a goal that I really, really want. I'm like, listen, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do. But this business thing, I think the reason why it's so hard to set goals, which again, I have some, it's weird. I get weird when I look at them. I just get really weird about, like, there's fear, there's anxiety, there's worry, there's all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, and I know why. I've never done this before. Unlike the schooling thing, like, this is not something that I'm comfortable with. I'm not sure that I can do this. I'm not sure about anything, right? Everything is up in the air, right? I'm going to show up. I'm going to try to do my best. And I'm hoping that it turns into something beautiful, right? And, hoping and having faith and all of that stuff. That is where I am. That is where I am with those goals. But I understand why I'm uncomfortable setting the goals and sticking to them. And it is just very, very scary to even think about. But again, I know that I have to. I know this is something that I have to. So what I've decided to do is to just focus on one goal, right? Instead of trying to make this list of goals and try to make sure that they're all SMART goals and just all of this complication, I'm going to focus on one particular, like a process goal, like a goal where, again, if it's something that's up to me, like especially with the podcast, like making sure that I have a weekly episode put up. That's fine for me right now. Like that is a goal, and a weekly episode. And I think just something simple as that would kind of help me to get used to goal setting. I have tried to have a list of goals and all of this stuff going on, and I find that it just gets very, 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 it creates a lot of anxiety. It creates a lot in me. And because this is so new, I think that this one goal thing is going to work, or may help at least. And yeah, that's what I'm trying. And if you have any advice or tricks or challenges with goal setting, please let me know in the comment areas wherever this is posted. I do post on podcasts, Apple Podcasts mainly, YouTube, and sometimes on TikTok. TikTok is a shorter form, so this is long form content. So usually I don't really cut content from here and put it onto TikTok. I wanted to try that, but maybe. So if you're listening on TikTok or whatever, like any challenges or advice or again, tricks that you may have around goal setting, especially for people who are fearful about setting goals because they're trying to, because it's something new. And also to mention, come to think of it, even with goal setting, think about this. When something is new to somebody, I think sometimes they don't even know how to set a goal around that thing because it's new. So that could be an issue too. I'm gonna think about that. You think about that, and we can talk about it in the comments. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, bye.